I wondered if you both would talk a little bit about generally what you would advise for other teens who are thinking about journalism, what you got out of the experience, and what advice you might have, either for your peers or advice you would have for your school administrations about how they deal with young journalists.
Okay. So for students, I would say I think one of the things that got me through Palette and got me so involved in journalism was having inspiration from the alumni. Like I talked about in the beginning, I was always reading Palette when I was younger and looking into the stories that people were writing and talking to them about it. And I think that high school journalism kind of makes you an alumni community for when you leave high school because I just graduated and the people that I've been speaking to the most are the people who were on Palette. So I would say that if you're getting involved in high school journalism, which I encourage many students to do, you should find a mentor, someone that's been through it a little bit longer than you have to guide you through it. And the mentor can also be in the form of a faculty member because most high school newspapers have a faculty advisor, which is very, very helpful. And then you also have resources like JSPA. I really think that being part of JSPA this year really helped me expand the breadth of palette as editor-in-chief because I was so inspired by the other school newspapers. And I feel like the high school journalism JSPA community really kind of lifts each other up. And I feel like we've been a very supportive group to each other over the year.
Isn't that nice to hear, Joelle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I didn't get to speak about our three main programs, which are advisor training, our annual conference, and the editors roundtable, and the way we get the kids and the advisors separately to meet and just talk about what they're doing and what it's like and what their challenges are and so on. Create a community, a chevra of some kind. I hope you all stay friends in college, just
Great.
say.
And Tali, maybe a little bit of advice you would have.
Sure. I would say my biggest piece of advice for students, something that really, I mean, Mrs. Keene drilled in us, it's to never lose sight of, what we're doing and why we're doing it. Journalism today has like become very messy, and I think sometimes is not only about truth telling, giving people a voice, helping communities, giving communities what they need. There's like issues of clickbait and people not having the best intentions. It gets messy, and I think it's also comforting and makes you feel really proud and inspired to look at why you're doing what you're doing. So it feels like almost every single story we'd write, we take a step back and say, what's the purpose of the story? Who's going to read it? Is someone going to enjoy it? Is it going to give people information? Is it going to, we always, clearly identified, what we were writing for, who we were writing for. And I think that was really helped me and got me really into writing. And I think for administration, something that I would really want to push in administration is to give student journalists the benefit of the doubt. It's very easy when you see an article that might poorly reflect the school to think that it's some kind of hit piece and that it's to paint the school in a bad light. But another way to look at that is, well, rather it's holding the school accountable. It's wanting the school to be a good place and trying to encourage it to do better. There's always two ways to see it. And I think, I would really push the school to, talk to student journalists, understand why we're doing what we're doing, because it really, in my experience, it all comes from a good place of wanting to help your school, help your community. That's what I would say.
That's beautiful, both of you.